Greetings, today is Wednesday, October 8, 2025. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. At the time of recording this video, it's 6:30 in the morning, local time in the eastern and northeastern Caribbean, where we continue monitoring the close passage of Tropical Storm Jerry. During the past 12 hours, we've seen that Tropical Storm Jerry has been affected by northwesterly wind shear, mainly because its circulation center is moving very quickly toward the west-northwest, leaving the area of convection displaced toward the southeastern quadrant of the circulation. This has prevented Tropical Storm Jerry from strengthening, and it continues with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. Based on visible satellite imagery, we can see that the circulation center remains exposed to the northwest of the convection area. However, it is expected to gradually slow its forward motion as it turns toward the northwest and then north, and once that happens, it should begin to strengthen. The forecast continues to indicate that, at its closest approach to the Lesser Antilles, it could be a Category 1 hurricane. Today, several Hurricane Hunter aircraft will be investigating the system to gather important data for the forecast. Still, we remain confident that its trajectory will stay just east and northeast of the islands, though close enough for the northern half of the Lesser Antilles to remain alert to its evolution, since tropical storm conditions may affect the area between Thursday and Friday. For Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, the outlook remains favorable, as tropical storm and hurricane conditions are expected to stay over Atlantic waters. Even so, the National Hurricane Center advises residents and interests in these areas to remain attentive to the evolution of Tropical Storm Jerry. Although the system has remained weaker than projected, it continues moving toward the west-northwest, gradually gaining latitude. Within about 24 hours, it should begin turning more toward the northwest, passing roughly 100 to 150 miles east and northeast of the islands. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, as tropical storm conditions are possible if the center moves slightly farther west. This morning, specialized track models show good consensus that it will maintain that motion and pass very near or just northeast of the Caribbean. Only one model has a much farther westward trajectory, but for Puerto Rico, none of the models bring this tropical cyclone close. With the wind shear still impacting its circulation, most intensity models keep it as a strong tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane as it nears the Lesser Antilles, though a few still strengthen it into a Category 2 or even Category 3 hurricane between Friday and Saturday. Let's take a look at the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. First, notice in yellow the Tropical Storm Watch area, which remains in effect for Guadeloupe, Montserrat, St. John's, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Barthélemy, and Anguilla. The circulation center is forecast to pass very close to the area, approximately 65 miles northeast of Antigua. For Puerto Rico, the circulation center is projected to pass about 240 miles northeast of Fajardo, a fairly safe distance, meaning that tropical storm conditions are not expected in the Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico. We have strong confidence in this forecast, especially since the ensemble members of the European model, nearly all of them, maintain that motion east and northeast of the Caribbean, consistent with the projection from Google's artificial intelligence model. However, some members bring it quite close to Antigua and Barbuda. So, my recommendation is that if you live in areas under a tropical storm watch, prepare for tropical storm conditions between Thursday night and Friday morning. Now, let's take a look at the expected impacts in the northeastern Caribbean. First, note the American model projection, which shows tropical storm and hurricane force winds remaining over Atlantic waters. However, if the circulation moves a bit closer to the Lesser Antilles, as shown by the German model, some tropical storm force wind gusts between 40 and 45 miles per hour could affect the northern islands of the Lesser Antilles. For Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, tropical storm force winds should remain outside the region, but given the storm's proximity, outer rain bands could bring some heavy rainfall to parts of the northern Lesser Antilles. According to the latest projections, rainfall totals over the next 72 hours could range from 2 to 4 inches in the northern Lesser Antilles, while Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands may receive between 1 and 2 inches. Fortunately, the heaviest rain will remain over the northeastern quadrant of the circulation, located over Atlantic waters. Marine conditions will be hazardous along the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. For the northern Lesser Antilles, wave heights are expected between 8 and 10 feet, and for the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, between 6 and 8 feet this weekend. That's all for this forecast update on Tropical Storm Jerry. Here at Hurricane Info, I'll continue closely monitoring its evolution, and if there are any unexpected changes, I'll notify you with a new video. However, if the forecast remains consistent, the next video related to Jerry will likely be recorded tomorrow. I hope everyone has a great day, and for those in the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, I encourage you to stay alert to the storm's progress. Before I go, please give this video a like, And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. Now I'll sign off, see you next time.